Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, where's my brethren in Arizona, and where's my brethren in Japan? Because the fighters in this video from those two places have both retired, and there's two of boxing's toughest warriors, most entertaining fighters, and they come in the form of Timothy Bradley and Takashi Miura. Now, I just wanted to give my respect to both these guys because they've given boxing fans, I would say, in the last 10 years or so, seven to 10 years, at least we'll say at least the last 4 years. At least in the last 4 to 5 years, um, these two fighters have given us two of the most exciting fights you could possibly think of. We'll start with Timothy Bradley. Let's start with his career for a second. Tim Bradley, a guy that you look at him, he's built like he's built. He's someone that is really in shape, has really cut up, but like he never really had the punch, like the most ridiculous punching power in the world. But then you look at what he was able to do in his career, and you look at the skill set. Why was he better than so many of these other welterweights? What separated Timothy Bradley from his counterparts in the welterweight division? And I would definitely say it wasn't necessarily all. It wasn't his skills. It was his conditioning. It was his dedication to the sport. It was his willingness to win night in and night out that made him better than a lot of guys at welterweight. And I still don't think that he gets the credit he deserves because the guy's resume is really really good. Obviously he had the fight with Pacquiao, and all of which we thought he lost. He beat the undefeated Lamont Peterson, beat an undefeated Jesse Vargas. I believe there's about 5 fighters he beat. They're undefeated, but I think the fight that will most solidify his career when it's all said and done is that fight with Ruslan Provodnikov, the fight of the year that he had with Ruslan Provodnikov. At the time, Provodnikov was, one of the hardest punchers in boxing, I'd say. He was someone that, if you weren't on your P's and Q's, he'd really mess you up. Even if you wound up beating him, you'd have to walk through fire and hell and brimstone to beat a Ruslan Provodnikov. And that's exactly what Timothy Bradley did. Despite a massive discrepancy in punching power, he was able to outlast Ruslan Provodnikov, and he got a real close decision with him, and he was able to outbox him in what was one of the most entertaining fights in quite some time. And it was like that night, to me, I thought was the night that Timothy Bradley truly became a great fighter. Not truly became a great fighter, but I'm saying like he definitely solidified his place in boxing with that fight because boxing many times is not necessarily about how many times you win or you lose, but the moments, the memories, the images that you leave your fans. Hold on a second, guys. The moments you leave your fans, like what's the image you're gonna always remember of Timothy Bradley? And for me, that image will always be when he was on the ropes and Provodnikov throwing the punches, and you see Bradley huffing and puffing, but he's still pushing through, and he still punches right back at Provodnikov, and he outlasted him and he beat him, and he put together himself a really great resume. You look at some of the names on his resume, guys like Junior Witter, guys like Edner Cherry, guys like Kendall Holt, Nate Campbell, undefeated Lamont Peterson, undefeated Luis Abreu, undefeated Devin Alexander, Joel Casamayor, Ruslan Provodnikov, Juan Manuel Marquez. He fought Diego Chavez. He beat Jesse Vargas. He still is the only guy to ever stop Brandon Rios. So this guy, to me, a lot of people have been debating the last week if is Timothy Bradley a Hall of Famer, is he not a Hall of Famer. I think he's a surefire Hall of Famer, in my opinion. Just the simple fact that this guy took on top competition. This guy had classic fights with, he had a fight of the year. I feel like if you beat top level opposition consistently and you have at least one fight of the year on your resume, you should be able to easily, without question, be in the Hall of Fame because you gave boxing fans memories, images. You painted a picture that they won't forget. So with that being said, man, I think Timothy Bradley deserves his respect, his credit. He was definitely good for boxing. He was someone that definitely maximized what he had because if you look at his skill set, he's not faster than most fighters. He doesn't punch the hardest. He does a lot of things really good, but he doesn't do anything great. So the fact that he was able to beat as many guys as he did. I think he deserves credit for that, and he's definitely Hall of Fame for me. Now, as far as Takashi Miura is concerned, this is a guy. If you go back to his fight on the Cotto Canelo undercard when he fought Francisco Vargas, and he got the loss, but that was one of the best fights that I've ever seen. Quite honestly, um, the guy definitely deserves credit for a great fight of the year. Um, in that one, Takashi Miura, a southpaw with punching power. Guy he's fought some pretty good guys. He recently just lost. Most recently, it's Miguel Burchell. Burchell also went on to beat Francisco Vargas, so Burchell's putting together a nice little resume himself. But fought the likes of Uchiyama, Billy Dib. Miura. Um, in this new age of Japanese fighters that are coming up, when we see a guy like a Naoya Inoue, who's making quite the name for himself in the world of boxing, and we look at some of the elder statesmen, because Takashi Uchiyama also retired, and you got Yamanaka on his way out. I look at a guy like a Takashi Miura as someone who held it down for the Japanese boxing scene. A boxing scene that is a proud boxing tradition, and he deserves his respect for what he gave the sport, because night in, night out, whether he won or he lost, he gave you a great fight, and he gave you something to think about, and gave you something to remember once the fight was over. So I think both these guys deserve our respect. A lot of times on this channel, I'll come on here and I'll diss fighters, and I can get a little disrespectful at times, but I think we got to appreciate these guys for what they gave us, and that was memories that will last boxing fans a lifetime. So to Takashi Miura and Timothy Bradley alike, I say thank you for your great career. Thank you for your service. Thank you for just what you gave boxing fans, and putting your lives on the line every night, and just entertaining us. We really appreciate it. And from True School Sports and all of our subscribers, we wish you a happy retirement.